Are you thinking about doing a UX design bootcamp? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to tell you all about my experience going through UX bootcamp. I haven't posted in a really long time because I was doing a UX bootcamp. I wanted to make this video to talk about my experience because I see a lot of success stories and I see a lot of hype, but I haven't seen too much people talk about the reality of what it's actually like going through a UX bootcamp. So I wanted to share my experience, what I've been going through, the good, the bad, and what's the status now. Okay, to give you a little bit of backstory, I studied film production in school, and that's what I did for a couple of years. I don't have a bachelor's degree. I worked in the food service industry for nearly 20 years to support myself while I was doing creative projects. And that's what I was doing as well when I started the boot camp. I felt like I kind of hit a dead end with like trying to make money like creatively. It's really hard. And I wanted to see if there was something in tech where I could utilize my existing skill set. And after doing a lot of research, UX felt like the thing that combined all of my previous experience and something that I would enjoy doing. So I did a bunch of research on various boot camps and I ended up going with Design Lab. The reasons that I chose Design Lab was because they offer mentorship every week. They do a thing where like if you don't get hired within 6 months, they give you your money back. So that seemed like, to me, that would be a good investment because, you know, it's not as much risk, like, oh, I can get my money back if I don't get a job. And the program was pretty long, so I felt like if it was longer, I'd be able to learn, I'd probably be learning a good amount. So that's the one I went with. And I did their first initial foundations course, which was like a couple of months to just learn how to use Figma. And then after I completed that, I applied for the UX Academy. Now, they have two different options for UX Academy. You can either do it part-time, which takes 6 months, I believe, or full-time, which is 3 months. And at the time I was working as a server in a restaurant. So I decided to do part-time so I could balance it with my work. However, this is the first thing they don't tell you about UX Bootcamp. It is really hard and it takes a lot of time. Even doing part-time, basically I gave up like my whole life for half the year, even more than that. Like when I wasn't at work, I was on my computer working on UX stuff and I was putting in like full-time hours, even though I was part-time, and it still took me a long time to get a lot of the projects done within the timeline they were expecting. So I ended up quitting my server job and decided to just make full-time effort in order to finish my projects for the bootcamp, because part of the stipulation for getting your tuition reimbursed if you don't get a job is that you need to finish the program on time. And it was taking me a really long time and I wanted to be able to finish in time to qualify for tuition reimbursement. So I quit my job and I was doing probably like 16-hour days, 6, sometimes 7 days a week, trying to finish this boot camp. And despite working on it full time, all the time, giving it my all, I couldn't finish it on time within their deadline. Part of the reason that, it was taking me a long time is because these projects that they're having you do it's going to be in your portfolio. So when you're applying for jobs, potential employers are going to be seeing these projects, right? I wanted these projects to be the absolute best work I could possibly be doing as a designer. It's not like university where, you turn something in and then like no one's ever going to see it again. People are going to be seeing this. So I couldn't just rush through the projects. Like I really poured my heart and my soul into them to make them the absolute best they could be. And I had reached out to Design Lab and I explained to them, hey, I'm behind on my projects right now. Like I still want to be qualifying for tuition reimbursement, but I'm not able to get this done on time. And it's not because I'm slacking. You can see I'm uploading work into the system, for my mentor to check it constantly. I'm not slacking. I'm working my butt off. I'm even working more than, than it was expected to be working, and it still isn't being done fast enough. And they basically told me like, sorry, there wasn't really anything they could do. So that sucked. And I got, disqualified for the tuition reimbursement, which was like a huge bummer because I quit my job and I poured so much time into this. Anyways, After my projects were completed, you have to finish your portfolio for submission in order to graduate from the UX bootcamp. And again, as I did with my other projects, I spent a lot of time working on my portfolio, perfecting it, making it the absolute best it could be, doing countless iterations. And, I finally graduated in October of 2023. So just keep in mind that if you're going to sign up for UX bootcamp, be prepared to work your butt off and be prepared to give up your life until you're finished. Your social life, holidays, events, going out with friends, even spending time with your spouse, watching your favorite TV show. I don't know. I literally had time for nothing else but boot camp until it was completed because I wanted to get it over with and I wanted it to be the best it could be because obviously I want to start looking for a job as soon as possible. The good things about the program that I did, one, I did learn a lot. There was a lot of amazing information I got through the program. I really enjoyed it and I enjoyed the work that I did. And I'm really proud of how my portfolio came out. I like that they have mentor you meet with every single week. Also, every week they have group critique where you meet up with your peers and you share your work and you get feedback on it. So I really appreciated the community aspects and resources that they give you so you don't feel so alone when you're isolated, not spending time doing anything else. At least you can talk with other people going through the same thing. And you have the mentor there to, give you extra support and encouragement. But it was really heartbreaking that I couldn't finish it on time. That really sucked. And if I knew that it was going to be kind of unrealistic for me going in, maybe I would have picked a different boot camp. I'm not sure. But it's just something to be aware of, going into the program. So upon graduation, in my portfolio, there's 3 capstone projects which are required for graduation. And then I also included my first project that they had us do that's not part of the necessary for graduation, but it's kind of a preliminary project they give you. But this project, they gave us a lot more time to work on before the capstone. So I felt like it was one of my better projects because I had a lot more time to do research and design and all of that. So I ended up having 4 projects in my portfolio. And I will link my portfolio in the comments so you can check it out and see how it is. Yeah, so I ended up graduating and completing the program in October 2023. And the other good thing about the Design Lab Bootcamp is that they give you 6 months in a program afterwards called Career Services, where you work with a different mentor and they give you a bunch of resources that basically helps you in your job searching and, optimizing your resume, optimizing your portfolio, preparing for case study presentations, things like that. So I like that they give you extra support after the program as well in the job search. However, it has been 9 months since I graduated the boot camp. And in those past 9 months, I have been job searching like a madwoman. I have submitted about 700 applications to this day. And of the 700 applications I submitted, I only had 4 interview type situations. And 2 of those were with legit companies. I made it to the recruiter screening process and I didn't get past that point, unfortunately. The other 2 positions were for startups that wanted to hire me and they didn't want to pay me. They wanted to pay me in equity, which I've heard some people say, oh, it can be a really good opportunity if the startup makes a lot of money, you'll get a lot of money, but that's a huge gamble. And honestly, it's not something I felt comfortable to do. If it was a startup I was doing with my friends or something and I was working for free, that'd be a different case. But just trusting people, that just didn't sit quite right with me. And actually, they're one of the startups, I thought the product was really interesting and it aligned with my interests and my passions. So I agreed to at least talk to the founder and get some more information. And then he rescheduled. He said he needed to reschedule our meeting and then he pretty much ghosted me. So even trying to find a job working for free, I haven't been able to get, which is just it's very discouraging. And I'm in a lot of Facebook groups and, people, I have a lot of UX connections on LinkedIn and such. And I see even right now that people who have a lot of experience and have master's degrees and they've had several jobs of UX experience, even they're having some difficulties right now in finding UX job. So for someone like me who, I'm sure that part of the reason I'm not getting jobs is because my UX experience, besides the work I did in boot camp, extends to like the work I've done for my own small business. So I don't have like a whole lot of UX experience on my resume right now. Like I'm trying to find an entry level associate or junior position where I can like learn and grow up from there. And I also don't have a bachelor's degree. So that, you know, the combination of like those two things, like it's making the barrier of entry very difficult. And I understand like a lot of companies don't want to take a chance on someone, but it just sucks because I have a lot of passion and I really love what I do. And so I'm just hoping that if I can keep pushing and I can keep trying, that I'm going to find something that's aligned with me. You know, like I'm at a point right now where I'll work for any kind of company that's willing to, you know, give me a shot, but it would be ideal to find a job working for a company whose like brand aligns with my vision and my values and such. And it's really hard to like not feel like crazy imposter syndrome. Like I know even people with experience feel imposter syndrome, but for me it's just like, I don't know, it's really been rough. So just know that going into a boot camp, maybe it was easier a couple years ago, but I think with like the economy and all the tech layoffs and stuff that have been going on, it's just like especially challenging right now for designers, especially entry-level designers. I also want to add that I have iterated my portfolio countless times, and that's something that I'm always open to continue doing. I have iterated my resume countless times. I'm attending local UX networking events. I really believe I'm doing everything I can be doing to put my best foot forward, look the best I can, and like try and get a job. And that has been like full-time work in itself because, you know, some of the applications, like you can just put your name and upload a resume and that's it. And we love those ones. Those are the best. But like a lot of them have bad UX and they want you to, even though you upload your resume, they want you to put in all your job history. They want you to put the dates that you worked, and sometimes the little like things to put in the dates, like they can just be really like tedious to click through. Okay, 2020, like so yeah, even just applying for jobs can take a lot of time, and trying to find ones that fit my experience. You know, so a lot of times I'm finding ones that they want 5 years experience, or even entry level positions, they're saying they want 3 years experience, which is like, how is that entry level then? I don't know. So yeah, this video is not meant to be, I'm really not trying to complain because I did learn a lot. I have no regrets, and I'm extremely proud of all the work that I've done. This is a path I chose, and like, I'm okay with it. I just would like people to understand what you're getting into. It's not an easy thing. Like, it's not guaranteed unless if you have connections with someone that works at a company or something, you know, that's great. That might be like helpful. But for a lot of people, it's not like a quick fix to get a good paying job like so easily. I am really grateful that I love doing UX design and I'm really passionate about it. And if it wasn't for having this level of interest and passion in this career, I don't think there's any way I could be keeping up this momentum for this amount of time to just keep pushing and keep trying and showing up day after day after day. If it's not something you're interested in as much, or if you're just doing it for the money and you don't have an interest in design, it might be you might give up after a couple months if you can't find a job. But I'm not giving up. I'm not going to give up because I know the only way that I'm going to find the job that I want is to keep pushing and keep trying and keep putting myself out there over and over and over. So be prepared to get rejected and be prepared for a lot of heartbreak and just hope. Hope. That's what keeps me going, is hope that it's all going to be worth it. Yeah. I'm really sorry. Like, I feel like I said, I'm not trying to be like negative and I'm not trying to complain. I would like people to understand the reality of the situation is not as like romanticized and beautiful as as some of the content out there might lead you to believe. That's why it's important to really like what you're doing and be passionate about it. That being said, if anyone out there is hiring for a junior associate UX or product designer, please send me a message and check out my portfolio. If you've gone through a boot camp, I'd like to hear about your experience in the comments. And if you're considering UX bootcamp and you have any questions, please let me know. I will be happy to answer anything, that you might want to know about it. So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and hopefully I will get back to doing more regular content now that that's over. I mean, I'm still job searching. It's taking up a big hunk of my time, but I think it's time that I make some space in my life for doing some of the other things I enjoy as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.